discussing the business of making and spending money.
From the beautiful city of Abuja, it is my pleasure to welcome you to Morning Radio on Leadership TV. And we are on to the Friday edition of this program, and it's the transportation segment of it. Yes, transportation focus. And the topic we are dealing with is coming of new international terminal at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos. In the studio to discuss the issues with me, including the advantages that we're going to have with the new international airport and the coming airports, is Mr. Ejike, you're welcome to this program. Ejike is our regular in-house analyst, and he's here to do justice to the topic. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, and you always look good.
Just by the challenges of the fuel scarcity and everything.
You don't deceive our viewers because you don't suffer fuel scarcity. We know you. You are a transportation person. We know you. You don't suffer these things.
I don't have a fuel station, so I'm suffering the same thing.
So I'm your host, Case Hammond.
Yeah.
So, let's first of all talk about, just give us an overview about the new terminal and what we are expecting in the near future.
The new terminal is actually the new terminal in Lagos Airport.
Yes.
It's actually one of the four or five airports that were approved in 2013 from a loan agreement between Nigeria and China, $500 million loan agreement.
$500 million.
Yes. So the idea is you give us this $500 million, you come and build $500 million terminals in five airports.
100 million per airport.
No, it doesn't necessarily mean 100 million per airport. You know, some places it may cost 100, 110, 90, depending.
I got you.
Yes, but
But the five airports will
500
actually
million
got
for the
500 million.
yes
Very
to
good.
build the terminals.
All right.
Now we have Abuja Airport, Lagos Airport, Harcourt, Kano, and Enugu Airport. So about last year, 2021 or 2020, they commissioned the Abuja Airport. So this year, we have the Lagos Airport, which was commissioned about 3 days ago, by the president. We have the Kano one. I think it's almost ready. Maybe before this government runs out, they'll commission it. The Enugu and Port Harcourt, I think they are all going to. So that is the idea about this new terminals. You know, already we have an airport existing. In Lagos, we have an airport for about 40 years now, which has been existing. There are terminals, but we wanted to modernize.
Yes.
So that's why we went into this agreement. Nigeria went into this agreement with China to come and build this terminal. It did not involve exchange of money. It involves come, bring your facilities and build it for us.
Okay, but how do we pay back?
That's the thing. After building, you involve Nigerian government officials and everything. You cost the whole thing. You know the actual money spent.
Yeah.
Then the repayment package is part of the loans we'll be talking about now. We also have an idea of how to pay. We'll be borrowing for other sectors.
You know, you mentioned a word which I would like us to double down on.
Okay.
You said modernize. Not that we didn't have these airports, because the Enugu airport is there, we have the Kano airport, we had the Lagos airport.
And we've been doing international flights.
We've been doing international. So what is the modernization going on?
Yeah,
What are
yeah.
those features of modernization?
The idea is that you have new technologies in place. First is to enlarge. It's obvious that an airport, Lagos Airport was built 40 years ago, like I said before.
Yes, that
So
was in
1970, about
1982.
Is it 82? 40 years ago.
40 years ago, it's about 1982.
Okay, 1982. Now, the fact is that the things we had then cannot be compared to the new things we have now. So
Yeah, of course,
we have
technology
this-
has improved. We
yes,
have
and
computers.
we have more passengers passing through.
That's true.
So these are the things you take into consideration when you say you want to enlarge or you want to build a new terminal. You see the airports in Ghana Have you seen the terminals in pictures?
I haven't been to Ghana
Whether
airport
you must
before.
have seen the pictures.
I
You
haven't.
see a very modernized terminal. You still have plane landing and everything, but you have to move with the world. You have new features, you have everything. Okay, let me just read out part of the facilities in this Lagos airport.
Okay.
They say the Lagos airport has the capacity, the new terminal
Yeah.
has the capacity of 14 million passengers per year, which means if you had maybe the other one was doing less than that, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
14 million passengers a year. Okay, approximately 56,000 square meters, and it has 66 check-in counters. You're looking at the picture.
Is that the new terminal?
These are the new terminals. These are the new terminals. We have
That is at
exactly like this in Abuja, in Enugu, in Kano, Port Harcourt, and
Muritala Mohammed Airport 2. That is the local airport.
international
Okay,
terminal.
that is the international
This
terminal.
is
All right.
an international terminal.
Okay.
It's not for people like you who go within the country.
Yes, I don't travel. You are the one.
So it's for people who come into the country and for people who are living. So I'm sure you see it when you're going to China next year. So
with the backing.
other facilities at the airport, or the terminal, 5 baggage collection, 6 immigration desks, 28 immigration desks at departure, a lot of things. There are a lot of new things there. So I'm sure it's an experience worth having. And it will put Nigerian airport at par with what we have around the world, even if we are not comparing. But at least we are moving from our local or our smaller terminal to a bigger one. And it's a good one. The Abuja one is a typical example. I've been there over 2 years. Like I tell you, there are a lot of changes compared to the old terminal. A lot of changes. In fact, you can get lost within the airport, within the terminal if you don't know your way around.
I've been there. I just flew in from Lagos not long ago. I've visited the
You didn't go through the
No, not
Lagos is not. I'm not talking about the airport.
I'm talking about
terminal.
Abuja terminal.
Terminal. You can't go. If you flew from Lagos, you can't go through the international terminal. Oh, it's international. Inter. Don't worry. By next day when you go to China, you go through it. You understand what we're talking about.
You are oppressing me.
So,
Well, it's a good thing to hear. Now, how is this going to impact passenger movement
just like I said, you have 14 million passengers that will go.
capacity?
Yes.
That is, we're talking about 1.2 million, or a little less than 1.2 million per month capacity.
Yes. The idea is this.
That is,
The more you grow as a country, the more the passenger grow.
That is an overkill. That is is above capacity. Really, Nigeria does not have have the passenger capacity, international passenger capacity of 1 million per month. I doubt. So that is like preparing for the future.
I don't say what you don't know, please.
You know, if you are saying 1
Because
million per month, that means
don't dive into what you will not understand. Just understand that in a year, you have the capacity of carrying 14 million passengers a year.
capacity is
No.
different from actual passenger
No, why can you say Nigeria cannot carry 1 million a year?
because you are talking about
Do you have-
100,000 per
do you-
month.
Do you have the statistics?
No,
So
I don't have the
that's why I
statistics,
don't
but
dive into-
100,000 per month is more. So let's look at it as preparing for the future, which is a laudable thing. We are preparing for the future, and of course, in the future, when we have more passenger traffic,
Yes, we are ready for the
we are ready for the future. That's the point. Let's take a short break. When we come back, we will delve more into the topics we are discussing. Stay tuned, listeners.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Money Radio, discussing the business of making and spending money.
You're welcome back, viewers. You're still on to Money Radio and you're on to the transportation segment of the program. And I'm in the studio with AGK, our transportation aficionado. I'm your host, Case Hammond. AGK. Clearly, Nigeria is doing better right now. We have leaders who have foresight and we are preparing for the future, which is a very good thing. It's laudable, and we would like to say thanks to the government for thinking in the future or for preparing for the future in terms of air travel. Nigeria is the economic hub of West Africa and one of the biggest. This is Africa's largest economy. And of course, once we begin to have improved economic or increased economic activities among African countries, and then of course the rest of the world will obviously need this kind of capacity to absorb the passengers that come through and go out of Nigeria, which is a laudable thing. You mentioned Abuja with that capacity. We're talking about Lagos, talking about Kano, Port Harcourt,
And the terminals.
yes, Seminar, Enugu, yes. These are all cities that can absorb our international, and not only that, it gives reach to Nigerians in the sense that these terminals or these airports we have just named are geographically fairly equitably spread. Yes, we talk about Abuja in the middle of the country. We talk about Kano in the north of the country. We talk about Lagos in the west. We talk about Port Harcourt in the south, and Enugu in the east. Yes, you can clearly see that the airports are equitably geographically spread, which is a good thing. That means anybody who is in any part of the country can avoid going to maybe a distant state to catch the next international flight. Right. Yeah, that is good.
Actually, what you're trying to say is the geographical part you're trying to bring it. Anything in Nigeria has to do with us. They always bring in the issue of resource, even in employment.
Yes.
That's why I keep hearing federal character, make sure these zones are covered, the other zones are covered. Now, this thing, when they were choosing, this is a loan for the country. We're choosing based on geographical locations.
Yes.
So that we make sure that the facility goes to each of these regions.
Exactly.
Now, logically, Lagos is the main hub at which people travel from.
Yes.
Lagos Airport. Abuja should be second.
Yes.
Then before you talk about Kano, Port Harcourt, But because Nigerian situation is that you must do something that will be shared within the region so that there will not be isolation. They decided to spread this thing crossfire, which is a good one.
It's good.
It's a good one. At least each of the regions will have international effort to cover them.
Exactly.
And Enugu was not an international airport, so it was recently upgraded to international airport.
Yes.
So Port Harcourt too. So which is a good one. I think they are in line. Now, these facilities, are they ready there? No. That's another thing.
Yes, but at
This
least.
project started 2013.
Yeah.
Abuja was ready by 2020.
Yes.
The new terminal.
Yes.
Now this Lagos 2022.
Yes.
Kano is almost ready. I've seen Kano. Kano is almost perfect.
Super.
Yes. So Kano will soon come up. Will soon be commissioned. Port Harcourt and Enugu. What will happen to them? That is where our concerns come to. We are only wishing that the next government will put pressure on the Chinese to finish up. Since they are not giving them the money directly, they are coming in to build. put pressure on the Chinese to finish up the two terminals in Port Harcourt and Enugu, so that we will be sure that all of them are fully up and doing, up
Yeah,
and running.
government is the continuum. I have faith they will do something because, like we said, it's fairly equitably geographically spread.
Yeah.
That means a person living in Enugu or in Anambra State or Ebonyi, those nearby states, don't have to go to Port Harcourt or come to Lagos to catch their flight. Now, having said this, how can what can you say, Ejike, about feeder airports? When I say feeder airports, the roads are not in the very best of shape. And we talk about security issues and all of that. Now, feeder airports, we're talking about states that have airports that can support the international airport, or nearby states that you can have a flight.
Yeah.
Yeah. How are the states doing in developing their own aviation capacity?
No, almost all the states in Nigeria have airports.
Up to
If only
standard.
one does not have an airport, is ongoing. I think it's only Benue that is ongoing. Most of the states, Nasarawa is ongoing. Okay, Nasarawa is ongoing. So what I do is that look, Enugu International Airport, Anambra, we have an airport in Anambra. Ebonyi is almost ready. Ebonyi is also building theirs. Imo, we have an airport in Owerri. They feed this Enugu International Airport.
Yes.
So any person that is going internationally and you are not staying in Lagos or Abuja or Kano, you're staying within this southeast region, you just need to come to Enugu. You enter, you move international.
Okay.
So which means if you're coming from abroad too, and you're coming to the east, you don't need to land in Abuja and be going through another flight to Enugu or to Anambra or this. You can easily book directly to Enugu.
Yes.
And from Enugu, you get to your place.
You know what this does also
No.
is
The same thing happens to Port Harcourt.
yes.
Port Harcourt, Bayelsa, all this.
Bayelsa, you have
The feed, Cross River, all of them.
yeah.
You can decide to feed Port Harcourt
Yes.
for international flights.
Yes.
And when you're coming back, you do the same.
Yes. And I must say, states like do I name the state? But they have an airline now, and of course the airport there is good, as well as the Calabar airport. The Akwa Ibom airport is so good.
All of them, the ones that are not international, is very simple. Get to your nearest destination where you want to travel from.
You know, the good thing about this is that it positions stakeholders in the aviation industry, and it positions the industry as a whole to expand. You know, when you have airports in these places, in these states, and then you have international airports in these regions, what happens there is you make room for expansion, you make room for development, aviation development, and
You know, apart from
that is a whole industry that is developing here. There,
no, apart
that is insightful.
apart from looking at the passenger angles, the importance of these international airports and these new terminals as well as in the region, that any region that is exporting any product. For example, you have Enugu, East for the region. East can export oil, yam, or anything you have. You don't need to take it to Enugu or to Abuja. You know these things are perishable goods.
Yes.
So you easily move your goods to Enugu Airport, where it will be processed, approved, and exported without necessarily going through the stress of moving to Abuja or to Enugu or to Lagos.
Yes.
You understand? In Port Harcourt, you have fishes and all those things. Anything you can export from there, you move it to Port Harcourt, from Bayelsa, from anywhere within the region. In Kano, you have the products, textile, all those things that come from north. Instead of moving them all the way to Abuja, which is closer to them after Kano, they just move it to Kano and then move it from Kano to abroad. So you see, and this is even in exportation of goods that you make more money in flight,
Yeah.
just like in trade.
Cargo.
Cargo,
Yeah.
cargo, there are a lot of money there, and this is where you get foreign exchange. So it's a very important aspect, and it's good that we are expanding. Looking at, if you talk about capacity, if you spend 100 million, you see, the we are talking about loan facility of 500 million. Logically, if you use 100 million to build in Lagos, in a place like Enugu, you shouldn't use 100 million. It should be less than the one you have.
Yeah, because
The capacity,
yeah,
the
it's
passenger, the
uh,
passenger flow,
topography and all of that, passenger
and
flow
the
and all of
passenger
that.
flow and all these things. You have to understand that Lagos has to have a bigger one
Yeah,
than the other ones. But in Nigeria, we do everything according to geography and according to zones. So don't be surprised they will share the 500 million, 100 million in each region. I will not be surprised. This Lagos one, they say it costs about 100 million dollars. So I will not be surprised if what they did is that in each region, they give you $100 million facility. So it's also good. That means the region that is not as developed as Lagos for now, in the nearest future, they will not have issues. The more they develop, they already have a facility that can take care of it.
I got you.
So,
So, let's do a little bit of projection. This thing started 2013, according to you.
yes.
2013 to 2022, we are just done with the second airport.
Commissioned.
Yeah.
The other ones are ongoing.
Yeah. So, give us a projection. When do we expect the Kano International Terminal, then the Harcourt International Terminal, and then the Enugu International Terminal? We are talking about three more here.
Yeah,
When do we expect them? It has
Kano.
taken something in the neighborhood of 9 years now to have two. When do we expect?
Kano is definitely coming up this year. There is no argument. Kano is.
We're taking your word.
Yes, I've seen Kano. I've gone inside. I've seen it. I've went for assignment there. I've assessed it. It's almost ready. So Kano will come up this year.
You know, in a way, you are an authority because
I
you
move
hobnob with the authorities.
I move around. I see some of these things. Enugu will not come up this year. Enugu, I think among all of them, Enugu is the least in terms of the.
Priority.
No, it's not no priority.
Okay,
They give all of
pace
the
of development.
The pace of development, the pace
Okay.
of the work.
Okay.
I think Enugu is the least. Port Harcourt, after Kano, we will have Port Harcourt. Then we'll have Enugu.
Have you
Then
visited Port Harcourt recently?
No, I'm talking based on, it's only Port Harcourt that I have not seen, actually. I've not seen the Port Harcourt terminal. But from the reports that I've been reading, I think Port Harcourt is higher in the pace of work than Enugu.
So what happens to the old terminals?
Now, of course, they will be converted to domestic terminals. You know, the more you expand, you have a new one now. That means they move all the facilities for the international from the old one to the new ones. Then the old one now will expand too. Because the more the passengers are expanding for the new for international travel, they're also expanding for local travel.
Yeah, that's the point there.
Yeah, so that means you have enough space, in fact, more opportunities to accommodate more. And have you been to Lagos Airport? When they are rushing, when they are rushing,
Yes,
you will see that it's something else.
Yes.
So it will be a good thing that you now have the old international wing merge, which means some airlines will move over to that part. You know how Lagos operate their own.
Yes, I know the local airport. You have some airlines that, or some airlines.
Some airlines are MMIA one, some MMA two.
No, there's another wing there that I don't want to mention the name of the airline, but it's there as if they have their separate wing. That is one. Then the main local terminal is there before you have the international terminal. So maybe all of those things will be merged, and we will see that.
No,
the
Lagos cannot be merged. The only thing is that each of these areas will have different airlines
Okay.
operating from there.
Okay.
So instead of clustering in one place,
Yeah,
you can move.
I got
and
you.
go out.
That is good development. Let's hope that it will continue. Let's hope that government will be a continuum in this aspect.
I don't really think government has option because since it's a loan between the federal government and China, even if this government leaves, federal government continues. Except to say you should stop the loan, which I don't think it's not your money. So I don't think they will come up with that.
All right, AGK. It's really nice having you again on this Friday in the beautiful city of Abuja. I would like to wonder if follow you or not. Is your
Now,
your travel travel.
It's good. So
Your
that
many
you
travels.
have
your
the
many
direct
travels.
experience. So that when I'm talking, you'll not be telling me that.
Yes, I would be happy to follow you on these your travels. So thanks for being here again in the studio with me.
Thank
this
you.
Friday.
Thank you.
Thanks to you, our producers, but you who follow us on this program, we say thank you the most because it is because of you we are here. Until we meet tomorrow for another edition of Money Radio on behalf of Leadership TV, it is my pleasure to say have a beautiful weekend. Don't do what I wouldn't do. Have a great day.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.